Diamondback Estuary program is one of 28 estuaries across the country in the National Estuary Program. Each year in September, we celebrate National Estuaries Week to show our appreciation for estuaries and all they have to offer. The living resources provided by estuaries support commercial fishing and shellfishing. It is estimated that more than 600 commercial fish species spend part of their lives in an estuary. In addition, estuaries support water-dependent and water-related industries such as tourism, recreation, restaurants, and marinas. These coastal areas are also a great place to enjoy the beauty of estuaries while enjoying activities like swimming, kayaking, fishing, and hiking. It is our responsibility to protect and preserve these vital habitats and wildlife, to preserve the recreational, cultural, and economic value for future generations. Although National Estuaries Week is only 7 days a year, PEP celebrates our love for estuaries all year long by holding outreach events such as nature hikes and paddles, native garden and rain barrel workshops, seaweed press events, and much more. In addition to pop-up events, PEP has several ongoing citizen science programs for community members to participate in. The Atlantic horseshoe crab can be found along the Atlantic coast from northern Maine down to the Gulf of Mexico. Despite their name, horseshoe crabs are more closely related to spiders than they are to crabs. Each spring, in May and June, horseshoe crabs come ashore at night to spawn during the new and full moons. The eggs they lay are an important source of food for migratory birds. Their blue blood is used in biomedical research, and they have commercial value as bait for fishermen. There are dozens of beaches monitored during this time across Long Island, 3 of which are in the Peconic Estuary. PEP is stationed at Squires Pond in Hampton Bays and invites volunteers to collect environmental data such as air temperature, visibility, and wave height. Afterward, we walk the beach to count the number of horseshoe crabs we see, measure, and tag them. The data that is collected by volunteers will help determine the management and conservation of this important species throughout the region. Clean water is important for marine species, like horseshoe crabs, to thrive. Reducing pollution to our waterways is of particular importance to PEP. The Water Quality Monitoring Program was established in 2016 to provide community members hands-on learning experience. Volunteers help collect data on important indicators of health on our surrounding marine waters by measuring environmental parameters such as temperature, dissolved oxygen, and nitrates. An estuary-wide, volunteer-based water quality monitoring program has the potential to be a valuable resource and educational tool in protecting and restoring the health of the Peconic Bays. We hope to expand this program in the future. As spring turns into summer, female Diamondback Terrapins, a local native turtle species that lives in our estuaries, comes up to land to nest. These animals are considered threatened and spend their entire life cycle laying, hatching, and hibernating in the same salt marsh. Although there are many programs along the East Coast that heavily monitor terrapin populations, little is known about the local terrapin population in the Peconic Estuary. Each female will lay eggs up to 3 different times throughout the nesting season. Raccoons, which are a major predator of terrapins, and their eggs, dig up those nests to consume them.
So by monitoring the nests that have been predated and then also protecting nests, we can see that the predation is 100% in this nest. There's no eggs that were there that survived. They've all been torn open. So at the end of the season, when we go and check our nests that we have protected, we can see what the survival rate actually is compared to ones that are not being protected.
With an increase in predator populations, along with habitat degradation, terrapin populations are in decline. In an effort to help increase the population, PEP began a citizen science program to protect terrapin nests. Since terrapins nest in late spring and summer, this program is ideal for both year-round residents, seasonal residents, and visitors to the area. For residents of the east end of Long Island, the estuary provides not only a relaxing oasis, but supports thousands of businesses and fishermen. There are several long-running festivals that are held on the water that could not exist without a healthy estuary and clean waters. One local favorite is the cardboard boat race. Due to poor water quality conditions in the Peconic River, the 2016 cardboard boat race had to be canceled. This year, in August 2017, the race was back on and better than ever. hundreds of people came to watch and participate in the festivities, including the Peconic Estuary program. This year, to celebrate our estuary and in honor of National Estuaries Week, the Peconic Estuary program, in collaboration with Cornell Cooperative Extension's Marine program, will be caring for salt marsh plants that will be used in the Peconic Estuary for future restoration projects. Salt marshes have many important functions and are some of the most productive habitats on Earth. They are ideal habitats for juvenile fish and shellfish to grow and reproduce. In fact, 3/4 of the fish and shellfish we eat rely on the marsh environment at some point during their life. Salt marshes are also important areas for waterfowl and shorebirds and are home to the Diamondback Terrapin, an exclusively estuarine reptile. Beyond serving as important habitat for a number of species, salt marshes help to slow shoreline erosion and provide a critical buffer between estuarine waters and the terrestrial environment. These habitats are capable of filtering a large amount of surface runoff from land, buffering the estuarine waters from excess nutrients and contaminants that might be contained in surface runoff. Conversely, salt marshes can absorb a large amount of floodwater from the estuary, providing protection to coastal communities during large storms. The plants we will be using for restoration have been cared for by staff, volunteers, and interns throughout the spring and summer.
So today we're splitting the plants. So we are taking the plants that are getting a little too big for their pots. There might be a few different stems of them, and they're actually cutting them in half and splitting them so that way their roots have more room to grow and they can get bigger and start to grow up. So then they can later be planted.
So when I first heard about this opportunity, we were both very stoked to go out east because we live in like the middle of Suffolk, so like it's kind of like civil and like not like as like environmentally sound. It's like out here.
Right.
So we kind of just wanted to take the opportunity just to go out east, see the views, and just help out.
I think the Peconic Estuary program does fantastic work across the whole eastern, the two Twin Forks. We're so lucky to have them. My only plug would be, can we give them more funding? No, but seriously, they're doing great work with our communities on the education. They're working with kids. They're working with adults. They're doing good science. They're just out here working on the behalf of our community, our natural community, for our people communities.
Right.
They're just awesome.
Providing fun, rewarding, outdoor experiences for residents and visitors of all ages helps people to connect with nature, learn, and appreciate how vital our estuaries are. PEP has proudly been providing such experiences for 25 years. We place a high value on educating the public to keep our waterways clean so they can continue to be used for recreation, to serve as a habitat to hundreds of animals, and to continue to support our local businesses and protect our shorelines. The Peconic Estuary program is one of the smaller programs with only 5 full-time staff. Our dedicated volunteers and interns are a valuable part of our program. Just within this past year, our volunteers have helped collect biological data and water quality data, assisted in planting native vegetation in PEP's demonstration rain garden along the Peconic River in Riverhead, provided input on our comprehensive conservation management plan revision, and helped to spread the word to their community about the importance of protecting our estuaries. PEP would like to give a special thank you to all our volunteers. Without you, we would not be able to accomplish as much as we do.